Hollow Knight Silksong. Hollow Knight Silksong has been, one of the games that have been pretty popular in last month. It's been a month and like 10 days since it came out. But a lot of people are talking about how the bosses are, if the later game bosses, such as, I'm not going to say the exact names of it, but later game bosses, you're not able to refight them once you defeat them. Which is why people are hoping to find a God Home. Like Team Cherry is trying to make a God Home version for Silksong. In the Hollow Knight God Home, there was Pantheons. 75 of them. 5 Pantheons had like around 10 bosses each, going for like the 42 bosses in the game. But at the top of every single Pantheon, there was a special champion boss that wasn't seen anywhere else in the game. If Silksong's going to have Pantheons like in their version of God Home, then there would have to probably be champions for these. That's what I'm going over today. In Hollow Knight, there was like 42 bosses, counting all DLC bosses, and that is very close to the amount of bosses in Silksong, which is like 44. So the estimation of there being 5 Pantheons is still about there. Maybe there's a little more bosses in it for every single Pantheon. Before we go any further in this video, I want to say all of these things are guesses, nothing's actually confirmed. It's merely just like a prediction that maybe some bosses it could be in the future. Most probably won't though. So in Hollow Knight, the champion bosses of the Pantheons are mostly well-known characters, with the first Pantheon being the brothers Oro and Mato, second Pantheon being Painmaster Shio, third Pantheon being the Great Nail Sage Sly, and the fourth Pantheon being Pure Vessel. And I guess the fifth Pantheon having Absolute Radiance. But the first four Pantheons are what we're going over first, so. First 3 Pantheons, Oro, Amato, Shio, and Salai, are all nail sages. So all NPCs that you find throughout the world, but you never actually fight. Most of these give you nail arts, except for Sly, he's a shopkeeper, and guess gives you a charm later on. But still all NPCs that you find in the game. For Silksong's first Pantheon, the champion of this could be the loyal Mergwin, whatever. This is pretty unlikely, because look at him, he's not really much of a fight. But he could be kind of like a joke boss, like maybe how Zote was. And like after you defeat him, his master, this guy in the background, comes in and actually is like the main boss. He's actually a difficult thing, not whatever this is. This boss could probably have multiple different like food-like attacks, how this is for the Grand Gourmand, you give a bunch of different food. With the Grand Gourmand, every single one of the recipes in the stew could be like part of his moveset. With the first one being Mossberry Stew, maybe could like have some environmental attack, where he uses the mossberries to, I don't know, make an acid floor or something like that. Next would be the Vintage Nectar, which you get at Halfway Home in Greymoor. This one, it could probably be maybe a bottle throw or something. It might matter what the game wants to do. Quarier's Rasher. This is a like flower quest-like thing timed event. This timed event could be maybe like after a stun, it uses this Quarier's Rasher to do some type of attack similar to like Lost Kin or Broken Vessel. This would be the Crust Nut. This is found in Santa Croc, and could be something like a shield for the boss to do to maybe heal up some or give some type of like defensive border, kind of like how Last Judge's Fire Arena is. The last one is the Pickled Mug Maggot. Maybe this boss could also have the maggot effect with some type of attack. I'm not really making these attacks too well. I'm just giving like vague ideas. For Pantheon 2, I think the Seamstress could be a good boss for the champion. One boss you fight in the game is the Pinterest. The Pinterest is a boss you fight on later in the game in Act 3. And before, like, you can also talk to it to get the Needle Strike, or the Needle Strike. So Seamstress is like another very similar NPC to the Pinterest. I'm very pretty sure like they're, I don't know, I think they're somehow related, I forget exactly how. But the Seamstress, instead of giving you a needle ability, gives you Drifter's Cloak. So maybe this boss could have different cloak abilities, and could also maybe like glide how with Pinterest fight, it glides during the tower fight as well. Some of these attacks could also kind of like converge with the Pinterest abilities, where the Pinterest has a needle strike, but uses like the Drifter's Cloak ability during the fight. Maybe instead of having like most Drifter's Cloak, this boss is like very grounded, but it uses a bunch of nail or the needle abilities. So like they kind of like switch roles some. So it could go that way, or just be a bunch of different cloak attacks, like how if you use the Sawtooth Circuit or Circlet when you double jump or glide, there's a double attack like that. It seems to have attack like that as well. Pantheon 3, instead of being an NPC like the other two have been, this boss could be kind of like a very Craggler, which is like a mini boss in the game, / I guess enemy if there's really one of them. Craggler King could be similar to Craggler looking. I don't have the exact model of it on screen because I already defeated it, but it could be like a Craggler, maybe some like legs and stuff, like a spider or crab or something. And could have multiple attacks like Craggler where it spits out things, or maybe summons in these little guys, which you really like, never see. For its attacks, as I said already, doing a spit attack, maybe do attack where like spits things out, kind of like Broken Vessel again. I'm kind of calling that the idea. I like the boss a lot. But maybe like the acid that sticks on the ground, like how the Brood Mother fight does. For Pantheon 4, in Hollow Knight, Pantheon 4 doesn't actually go along the same guidelines, how like everything else is an NPC. Pantheon 4 is a version of the Hollow Knight. If the Hollow Knight was actually like a pure vessel, which is why the boss is called Pure Vessel. Able to take in radiance without getting infected because it wasn't strong enough. Hollow Knight lore and such. But for this thing, it could be a variant of another variant Lace. I know like this would be the fourth one, but like, hear me out, okay? This version could be instead of how Lace gets lost at the end of Silksong, instead Lace rised up to the top to reach the power of Grandmother Silk. It could be Grand, like, Silk God Lace or something like that. And this could be another, like, very difficult fight how Pure Vessel was. Attacks could be maybe similar to Grandmother Silk, with a mix of Lace's attacks. It could really go either way. But this fight would probably be a very difficult fight, and, you know, be leading up to the final fight. Even though Pantheon 5 has multiple different variants, in Hollow Knight, we're sort of the main champion first, which is good. Maybe, these are all, you know, guesses, so I don't know if it's actually good or not. But a boss could be Lost Grandmother Silk. Since when you do the final fight against Lost Lace, after this cutscene plays, I probably should do that first. During the Lost Lace, as I was saying though, during the Lost Lace fight though, in the background of the tower fight, there is Grandmother Silk in the abyss, kind of like more like Lost, like I guess if they were maybe just like dying, one of those two. But there could be a variant of Grandmother Silk where she escaped the abyss and is boss again, not, you know, locked up in a prison forever. But for this fact need to be, you know, another combination of how like Lost Lace is Lace's moveset with void abilities attached. This could be Grandmother's moveset with void abilities attached. Basically the same thing, just a little bit different. So it's, you know, they're different moveset, more like needles instead of lace. Starting off with Pantheon 5 Silksong boss variants. One of the bosses in the game is four brothers, Ignis and the other one. But there's a third one, the Forged Daughter. So this boss could be something like the Forged Siblings or something like that. It could be all three of them fighting you at once, which would probably be a chaotic fight. It'd probably be kind of fun. Even though Forged Daughter isn't like the person that wants to fight a lot, it still could work as like no variant. This is like a dream or song dimension, whatever it's called, so it wouldn't actually be the real Forged Daughter. Another variant could be for the boss Phantom. First for the boss Phantom, I saw about making just have Lost version Phantom, but that'd be kind of boring. There's like too many Lost variants, so instead, this could be like a Pearl Phantom. The highest rank of rosaries is the Pearl Rosaries. So this could be a Phantom if it was like super rich and have like rosary-based attacks. Maybe something, you know, unique. Instead of having every single boss have a Lost variant. that'll be it for the 5 Pantheons of Silksong. Before I end this video, I do have like a few extra variants that came up with the ideas, but I don't think they'd be good for any challenges or variants. Because I don't think they're kind of boring, they're just lost variants. The first one would be a lost version of new. News, you know, eventually you don't really see them much. Maybe they got lost and now they're a boss. Other one is Lost Sherma. This one, idea for this one was kind of just, you know, silly. Lost Sherma, you know, doesn't really like fight. Hasn't actually like killed anyone, so Last Judge didn't even have to worry about Last Judge. So this Sherma would be like incredibly weak. But since it's like a lost version, well, like, it has like a bunch of strong things that can basically stun you. And like half for the fight, the Shade Lord appears, and that's the actual fight. So you're just actually fighting the Shade Lord, but it is disguised as Sherma. So yeah, that'd be no interesting fight, but with that, I would like to leave you with those 5, or yeah, I guess a little more than 5 bosses for the Pantheon champions and variants. And hopefully Silksong gets God Hump soon. See you guys sometime else. Goodbye.